When you see this motion for default after getting my response, after having attended the children in the middle of class, right, and then a motion hearing, I obviously wasn't included in that motion hearing. I guess it's one of those where you don't have to actually enforce the rights of the defendant in a dissolution of marriage. Yeah. But I would think anytime there's a motion of the court as a defendant, I would have been included. Now, I don't know how you can get a court hearing in one day. Uh, Actually, now that I think about it, it should have been a motion for default, and then you had to wait 7 days, and you had to serve me. Yeah. Um, and then sheriff's return of service. I think they served me maybe on the 29th. Then notice for trial setting. Now, my concern is, see this declaration of Jessica Hodges? Yeah, she's 15 years old. Her birthday's in October, right? 2012. She was 14 in 2011. I think she would have been 15. Yeah. Now, this proposed parenting plan, child support worksheet. I went through these various worksheets, and it seemed to me that after all the expenses of child care and various other expenses, that there was no money for actual food, for clothes. Yeah. Now, when you have 5 sons and a blind daughter, you have to make allowance that you're going to have to buy clothing at some point. And I know, having been a stockbroker for approximately, 98 to 2000, probably 10 years at that time, I got pretty good at how to do financial consultant work. Now, the child support worksheets, these were all BS. Yeah. Motion, affidavit, declaration for temporary order, notice of hearing, 9/14 for May 12th, settlement conference settling here. I should have got a notice of some of these hearings. Yeah. This whole settlement conference, sealed confidential reports, cover sheet, declaration of Heidi Budnick, declaration. This declaration of mailing, I don't know where they mailed it in September of 2012. I was living in the fifth wheel at Kingsway Foursquare Church. Probably, yeah. And I don't know, I'll have to see where they sent it. Parenting plan, temporary order of child support. I didn't get this temporary order of child support, trial clerk setting, mail return on claim. I had moved by that time. Yeah, Mike had turned the electricity off on me in the middle of winter, and the hot water heater had gone out 10 days before that, so I wasn't able to shower or bathe for 10 days. And then when you turn the electricity off on a guy on December 12th of 2012, in fact, Mike had approached me and said, Paul, well, you need to get out. I'm like, no, I just got some money. In fact, my grandma had sent me a check for $400, and Marilyn was nice enough to cash it for me. Yeah. Well, I told him the hot water heater had blown out, and it had nothing to do with me. Well, Mike's way of handling problems is he just put a lock on the electric box in the middle of winter and turned the electricity off. I mentioned to Mike that he'd have to go to the sheriff's and he'd have to have me evicted. You can't turn the electricity off on a person staying on your property that's been living there for, well, I moved there in March to December, about 9 months, and I've been paying the rent through what Mike calls volunteerism, but actually it's not. 8 hours a week, 32 hours a month at minimum wage, $10 an hour, $320 a month I was paying for a piece of crap fifth wheel in the corner of the property. Now, I know when you obligate volunteerism, but you're actually using it to collect a rent, that if you don't do the labor, you have to get out of the fifth wheel, is not really the definition of being a volunteer. And I know that Foursquare as a denomination is not looking forward to this, but I'm going to sue the holy crud out of every church in the United States.